It's BartMan Marine. It's October 1st, 2019. I'm at the Remembrance Wall. It's been a long 2 years of investigation. I've got one of the biggest interviews today that's happened since the shooting has occurred. And I think it's going to be mainly concerning the ballistics and the lack of evidence that's been collected. I believe that after today is going to be a turning point for myself and John Cullen on the investigation of the Las Vegas shooting. Guys, stay tuned. And this is a very somber moment. These people still don't have answers, and it's my job to give it to them, our job to give it to them, and we're not going to stop until we do. Hashtag we won't stop. God bless her. Good afternoon, everyone. It is September the 30th, 2019, Las Vegas, Nevada. Follow up on the Vegas shooting, October 1st, 2017, guys. Everybody know I'm alive and well. Ran into a hater this morning, actually at the Remembrance Wall, and just had a difference of opinion. I didn't know him, he knew me obviously, and called me out on a few things, and he was one of the narrative huggers, and I just tried to tell him, you know, I respect him, I respect that he lost a loved one. I'm sensitive to that fact, but please listen to the 911 calls. Please listen to them, and take my word for it. Try to follow the investigators that have given the last 2 years, you know, everything they've had, to the point of having to beg for money to come out here, which he also accused me of. We're doing good. We're doing productive things for the case. Have a lot of evidence. But now, guys, as investigators, and having used our due diligence for the past 2 years, we're going to have to come together. We're going to have to unite. We're going to have to sit around a table, so to speak, and we're going to have to share what we have. I may know the beginning and the end. Cullen and I may know the beginning and end. But some of you may know places in the middle in our case that we don't know. And there's, with every case, there's holes in the case. And to be a full case, and to get the only way to get past the judge, if you want to get it reopened, or move forward, is to fill in those holes to where those hard questions, when they're asked about what happened at this point, you can answer them with, I know what happened, and then you can verify. You just can't use hearsay. So I'm just making a plea to everyone that in the near future, if not next time we all get together, say in the morning at the community center at 7 o'clock, when we can look at Lombardo face to face and the governor. If we can't all chat then and maybe make an agreement to come together in the future, maybe we can do that down the road and not so distant future. But again, love you guys, and I'm fighting the good fight. You see me around, come up and say hi, okay? And let's talk. Take care.
Okay, folks, so what do you guys think? I think we heard it from BartMan there, but we're going to talk to Eddie here. We're not going to worry about Mr. BartMan. Let's get some different background. Okay, Eddie, what happened with Bart?
Well, I was at the healing garden.
You got to talk about it.
I was at the healing garden, and there's 58 trees there, naturally, 58 slain angels. The trees, the pictures that are on the trees have been weathered for the last year and needed replacing, and I had decals made up and some artwork that Locetro, one of our own, helped with. I got with a lot of the family members, and we changed a lot of the pictures to what the family members wanted. And I was up there that day, it was Monday, the day before the 1st, in the healing garden. In the healing garden, And I'm walking back to my truck to get a tool, and this guy walks up to me. I don't know who he is. He says, "Hey, I'm a law enforcement officer. I've been in law enforcement for 30 years."
Out of the clear blue, he just comes out and says, "I'm a law enforcement officer."
I've been in law enforcement for 30 years. I said, "Well, thank you for your service. I appreciate that." And he says, "What do you think of a single shooter?" I said, "Excuse me?" He says, "Well, what do you think about that?" I said, "I don't right now." He says, "Well," and he kept talking to me about it, and we were near the sidewalk, a couple trees in, up on the walkway. And I started walking past him, and he followed me out to the sidewalk because I don't create any havoc at all in that garden. I didn't want to create havoc at all. You guys don't know me. You see me in YouTube where I'm ticked off. This is what I do. That's what I use YouTube for. I come there to vent. So if I've ticked you off, I'm sorry. I'm there to vent. I work my fanny off for these people. Not only these 58 families, but a lot of our survivors. And
so, what? I mean, what? So he does all this.
I walk out to the sidewalk.
Where did it go south?
It went south.
From hello?
Well, no, I was being pretty cool. And then he says, he kept asking me questions about the shooting. I said, "Man," I said, "do you know what this place is?" He said, "Yeah, this is a place of resurrection." I says, "No." I says, "It's a healing garden for those who were slain." And he says, "Well, I know, I've been investigating this for 2 years." He says, "I know so much about this." He said, "You wouldn't believe it." I said, "Clearly you don't have any idea who you're talking to." And his next comment was, "Do you have a decent memory?" I said, "Yeah, I think so." He says, "I have a Twitter name. It's BartMan Marine. You need to follow me." And I said, "Get the hell out of my garden. You and Hoover and your stupid ass helicopter Saudi Arabia theories. Get out of my garden with this." Not my garden. "Get out of this garden. This is not the place for this." Now I'm out on the sidewalk, and he keeps going. I'm like, "Look, pal, you need to get back in your truck and leave." He was with some other guy, and where he just came up with this, I'm a narrative guy.
Well, not even that. Just I'm more narrative than you are.
Well, heck,
way more narrative than you are.
I think Paddock was dead on the floor, but that's irrelevant. He asked me.
He hugged me earlier, so that makes him a narrative hugger.
Bingo. That was a good one.
That worked.
Yeah. Anyway, Bartman's credibility in my eyes, and the reliability of his information is about as much as I rely on diarrhea. It's not something I would rely on nor count on.
Great analogy. Very good visual.
Anyhow, so I'm asking him to please leave. I said, "Dude, this ain't the place. The time of the place." I don't know where he got off thinking I lost my loved one, maybe because I was hanging a picture of an angel. Even more reason for him to not to be in the healing garden, asking these questions. What the hell is he doing? Guys, if you come to Vegas, that ain't the place. I mean, please, do whatever you want to do, but don't do that in the healing garden.
You got to act like you're at a cemetery, so to speak, without it being a cemetery, but you have to have that same,
It's a healing garden, not an investigating garden.
Exactly.
Good.
Or not a promotion garden. You don't go there to promote yourself, brag that you've been a police officer for 30 years, and that you're God's greatest gift to investigating the Las Vegas, shooting and stuff. It's just not the right place, not the right time, and definitely not the right time, because at this time you don't do that. Maybe
this is the day before October 1st, and I'm so glad he came to me. I think the angels probably sent him to me, because had he gone to a family member who actually had lost their loved one and started talking like that, can you imagine? My gosh, wow! I was absolutely flabbergasted. BartMan, yeah, I went off on you, and you deserved it, pal. You have no couth whatsoever. That was not cool, bud.
No, not cool at all. Now, he said some things during the video that are questionable. One of them was check the 911 calls. Did he call 911 on you?
No, I think he's saying that we need to, as investigators, or that I needed to listen to the 911 calls.
Huh. Like we didn't listen to them.
If anyone out there knows me and what I did, my channel's down now, with the exception of couple of things for our angels. But that's all my channel was on 911 calls. Every interview I did was specifically from a 911 call. Every location I went to was directly from a 911 call. And he's telling me he's boots on the ground. I said,
Yeah.
pal, I've been here 57 freaking years. The boots on the ground are here. I said, you're down here, you're out there begging for money to come to Vegas so you can be boots on the ground? Get the hell out of here.
So
Get away from this garden.
I'm sure Hoover sponsored his trip. That most likely is the case, or something like that. But yeah, that's pretty
Unbelievable. I'm
You
just
need to do
shocked.
your homework before you come after some investigators that have been around the block a few times in actual boots on the ground. You can't just show up midstream and then say a couple of things because you've been home watching videos the whole time and come to Vegas and then make it seem like you've actually done something. This is somebody that's done something. Since day one, he's always been out there doing stuff. Actually there, behind the scenes, in front of the scenes, didn't matter. He was actually doing stuff, and tangible stuff that people actually appreciated.
Yeah,
That's the
Bart,
difference.
man, like, boots on the ground, like walking through Stephen Paddock's house and filming the whole thing. I don't see any evidence that you provided worth a crap.
It's BartMan Marine. It is Thursday, October the 3rd, 2019, around 1:30 a.m. I just been back a few hours, flew back from Vegas this evening, and I hadn't been on social media, but I just checked a few things, one of which was over on 5x5 Mike Turber's channel, and Q&A he had with Eddie Schmitz, who's the gentleman that I ran into at the Healing Garden. And I just want to say to you, Eddie, I apologize the way I came across, if it was a little too aggressive or insensitive, but it is an investigative technique a lot of times I've used in the past. Sometimes you catch people at their weakest point at funerals, etc., when they can give you the most information. I wasn't meaning any harm by it, and in retrospect, it was a bad choice to take. And that's why I'm going to apologize not only to you, but to the rest of the survivors and to the other investigative community. Okay, guys? Anyway, we're going to solve it. We need to stay together, and we do need to come together and share information, which I'll be willing to do. God bless. Take care. Good night.